Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to get really messy, inky and grungy with some guest checks. I'm filming some videos in advance, so you may have seen me make some altered guest checks for my Green Winter Traveller's Notebook journal. Whilst I was filming that, I then went off on a tangent, and then I decided to edit that bit out and then create another video for it, but obviously I ain't got a beginning of it. So I will now just add in the bit from the other video showing the initial grunging of this, and if you've seen it before, you can just fast forward through that little bit until we get to the bit where I'm getting out some gesso. Okay, hope that makes sense, and hope you enjoy. So I'm just gonna, these ones, I'm not sure if they come in different styles. I've already got this style, but these ones are quite thin, and they've got the carbon thing underneath. So if you write on it, it goes through on here. So, you know, waste not, want not. I've been using them both. So I'm just gonna rip off a couple, get a few prepared, and show you what I did with them. So I am going to use some Distress Oxide ink. I recently bought my very first one, Walnut Stain, and then this arrived yesterday. I've got Vintage Photo as well, and I'm going to use Vintage Photo on this because it's a bit lighter. The one I used Walnut Stain on the first time round, and I found it, I thought it turned out quite dark, and I did it completely different to the way I'm doing it now. I kind of brushed it on, but I am going to do it this way. So I'm just dabbing a bit of it down on this non-stick mat that I've got, and I'm going to squirt some water on. That one's alcohol, Jez. That one's water. So I'm just going to spritz some water on here, and it does react to water. It does as well when you sort of stamp it on, but I thought I'd sort of do it this way, and so I'm just dabbing it down to pick up the ink, and it's very thin, it rolls up, so you do have to leave it to dry, or you could dry it with a heat tool. So I'm using the yellow as well, so I'm going to put that down. You can see the water on the back there, so it gives it a kind of coffee stain, tea stained sort of effect, which I quite liked. I might spritz a bit more because I can see there's bits of ink there that's not yet been sort of moved around. Yeah, liking that. Want some at the top there in that white bit, and then we'll just mop the last of this up. That's quite cool, and then I just mop that up, don't need it. So these are going to be left to dry, and we'll see how they look once they're dried. It's very thin paper, It shouldn't take long to dry. And then I just want to pull in this one. So this one, I put a bit of napkin on. I just put a little bit of it on, and then I stamped over the top, and I feel that that is just dominating too much, and I sort of want to knock it back. So I was thinking, how am I going to do that? So I think I'm going to put a bit of gesso on that to take back the stamping. So I just thought I'd sort of, you know, how to rectify a mistake that you might make. So got my gesso. Let's just put this mat down. Where's my little silicone brush? Got my silicone brush that could do with a bit of a wipe, really. I've got a wipe that sort of went destined to the bin. Get that matte medium off. Yeah, that's better. So just don't want masses. And it's just now I'm thinking, bring that cloth back and maybe wipe a bit of it off. So it's not quite so in your face. Don't want to completely make it so I can't see what's underneath. Yeah, I might do some more gesso in whilst I've got it. So let's get one of the other and then we'll just be able to leave that to dry with that one. I might squirt a bit of water on it. I'm going to put that lid on, that's for sure. So let's get me others, and then I can just have them sort of ready to do things with at some point in the future. Just creating some sort of interesting Just some interesting patterns in the background. I'm just having a right old play here now. I think we need a bit more water on there. I think that spritz has run out, so we'll use that. Covered up more of that than I want to. There we go. So I am wondering if I was to put a bit of this on my mat. What might then happen? With this gesso. Well, obviously it's given it a bit of colour. And then we've got another effect going on there. Liking how that's looking. So I'm just creating some nice little backgrounds here to maybe work on later. So a bit more water. Totally lost that bit of napkin that's on there. Still a little bit showing through. Yeah. Quite happy with that. So I'm going to clean up and dry those off. Right, so these have been left to dry overnight. So looking proper grungy. Managed to get sort of staining on both sides, but I'm probably going to back this on something, so it doesn't really matter about the staining on both sides, but I do like the staining. This, I'm still not that happy with it, to be fair. Trying to rescue it, not really getting very far with rescuing it, but we'll see. So I remembered that last year I got this Christmas paper napkin, not just the one, I bought a whole packet, so I thought I might use that. So I'm just gonna take the layer off. Normally I use sellotape, but I could see that it was broken up there. There we go. I think it's only 2-ply. This has still got a little bit of a subtle pattern on it, which might be handy for something. I don't think there's another ply under there, is there? Oh, maybe there is. Yeah, there is. There is, Jez. I can do it. I can do it. There we go. When you're being cute. There we go. Don't want that one. I might blow my nose on that. There we go. So, do I want a little subtle poinsettia on there? No, I don't think. I think I want a full-on poinsettia on that one. And it doesn't matter if I see a bit of that behind, because I think that would look quite nice. So, should I try and get that one out the centre? That'll look nice, won't it? We'll see, we'll see. Right, I'm going to get my messy mat. There we go. Get my paintbrush. And I'll take this. Grab them, whatever they are. There we go. Let's see if I can pull this one better than the last one that I did, which may or may not have been shown yet. I am making a journal for a swap, and at this moment in time, on November the 22nd, I haven't sent it yet because I haven't finished it, but I'm filming the whole process, which is making it quite slow. And it's basically going to be my December videos, but I still got things to go out in November that aren't filmed yet. So I'm filming things all over the place and not sure when they're going to be published. So I'm not sure what you've seen and what you haven't seen. So yeah, all of it out of sync. There. I might put that on there. Yep, that'll keep me happy. So I've got my little jar here. This has got this gel matte medium and a bit of re-inker. I think it's Vintage Photo. I just keep adding to the jar, and the re-inker is a bit more diluted than it was first time I used it. So stick that on there. I just think it's nice that it's got a bit of colour in it. That's my reasoning for doing it. So it's just helping with the vintaging. There we go. I think that's salvaging that quite nicely. So I'd like stamped, because I put it on music paper and there's a little bit of music paper, you could see through it. I then thought, oh, I'll stamp some music on top, but it was a bit dark. But you can still see it subtly there, which I like. I'm liking that much more now. And that'll be a cool Christmas thing. Right, let's maybe do a bit more. So let's maybe have one come in just in the side. So we got these ones on the side. maybe have a bit of that. So I think this is turning into a little bit of a mass make. Maybe some, I might call it, I don't know what to call it yet. Christmas themed altered guest checks. My son and his partner come in at the weekend because it's Thanksgiving this week, and so we have started a new family tradition of celebrating Thanksgiving, but we have to celebrate the weekend because we don't have the time off over here, and it's because Finn's American, and I don't want that there. I want to get rid of that bit. And they brought me back some guest checks. That's where these have come from the States. They went over there in the summer. And Finn's parents had come. Finn's mum comes. She went, why on earth does your mum want guest checks? So I wanted to get some projects done with them so I could show them. And I thought I might send her something that I've made so she can see and not think that I am the complete balmy person that I really am. So, yeah. So, I do want to make a few table favours as well for my Thanksgiving table. Did that last year. I've got these lovely little mini dime bars which I thought would be nice in the table favour. Yeah, there's about half a packet left now because I keep eating them. They're so nice. And they keep calling to me. There. That's quite cute. Obviously I'm going to put some other things around it, but I like that. So I might continue with them. Let's have a whole that one's right in the corner there, with a whole different collection of them. I am planning on making a Christmas sort of December daily as well, so these may go in that. Oh. I was trying to squeeze a little bit of the water because the brush was dry. Brush is still dry, but there's water everywhere and not a drop to drink. The ancient mariner. We had to learn that at school. Why were we made to learn poems, speeches from Shakespeare off by heart? For what possible benefit? As a qualified teacher, I fail to see the benefit of that. However, I can still recite some of these things. So one of the benefits was Christmas Day last year. Well impressed, my mother-in-law. She bought me and Ed a theatre experience for Christmas, hotel stay and theatre tickets to go to London, and it was to see Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. And when I opened it, I then immediately started reciting Portia's speech. The quality of mercy is not strange, it droppeth as gentle end. Rain from heaven upon the place beneath, it is twice blessed, it never see. Anyway, and there we go on. So she kind of reassured her that she'd picked the right play. So I may have mentioned it before that I really like Merchant of Venice, don't know. But yeah. And it was funny when we went to see it, when it got to the interval, I had to say to Ed, would you stop reciting Shakespeare as we're watching? There's actors on the stage doing that. You're not on the stage. And he went, am I doing it out loud? And I went, yeah. He went, oh, I thought I was just saying it in my head. I mean, he was only whispering it. Don't know that anybody else noticed, but I certainly did. It was very funny. So I'm liking those. I think they look very cool. Very cool. So let's carry on, shall we? So I've got 6 different ones. So we'll leave them to dry and then we'll finish them up. Okay, so those excuse me, those are dry and they've gone a bit curly. But they will flatten out if I just picked up other things off that mat, but it will be backed on things. Don't know what that is. A load of glue that's just come off with it. Should have made sure my mat was clean, maybe. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right, I'm going to trim off these bits now. There we go, so that's that one. I wish I didn't have the stripe on it, but you know, I could maybe trim that off. You still see kitchen check there. That's quite nice. Right, that one's okay. That's the one that I was more interested about covering, so like that. Right, this one needs, this was the one that was the underneath bit, so it's a really subtle poinsettia there in the background. Right, none of the other bits need trimming off. They look okay. So now it's about what to do with them. So I have got some printables. Yeah, I've got these printables, which just printed off. There's some Tracy Fox freebies. So it was the words I was thinking. I could use some of these words. And I've got all her December dailies from last year that I printed off. These were last year's freebies. I didn't do it last year. I thought I might use it this year in a journal. So printed them off and cut them out on my Scan Cat. So I am just decided to speed this next bit up because I spend quite a lot of time just pulling different elements out of this kit and deciding what bits go where. So as I say, this was a freebie that Tracy Fox did last year during December. I think she did it during December for a December daily. I managed to nab them all. They're only available for a short period of time each day. So, nabbed them all and printed them all off and thought I'd do it this year for this Christmas. And here we are, end of November, and I'm just using it for the first time. I'm just going through the box. There's lots and lots of little elements. So I was just picking out the ones that I fancied. And although this year Tracy's giving us those black and white words, there were some in the kit, so I didn't need to cut too many out because there were ones in the kit already. That tree was in the first, I think in the first one, which was quite cute, quite liked it. That ticket there is for Lapland, and I've got a perforator, so I am just actually using my ruler and my perforator so that I could cut the ticket in half. It was too big for that one tag, so I cut it down, and I'm just there putting on a saying there. So that was, make magic. Going to the North Pole to Lapland on Christmas Day would be magic. Christmas tree I decided to go for 'Tis the Season. Not really sure about that one that I'm fiddling with now, so I kind of move on to something else. So I'm looking for Deck the Halls, because Deck the Halls with Bales of Holly, la 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 la. Because there's holly in that sort of bunch of festive flowers, I thought, that will work. Felt I needed a bit of ribbon, so that's a little bag where I chuck little offcuts. Often when you're tying a bow on something, you get quite a big offcut like that is, but it works really well on a tag. And here we've got bingo card and the other half of that Lapland ticket. And and I decided to put a Christmas wish. I was thinking of those charities that do a Christmas wish for, children that are poorly. And often at Christmas time it's to go to Lapland. So that was my thoughts behind that one. Now, I really like this tag there with the little angel on, and I thought the colours went really well with the background of that napkin, but I felt it needed a border to make it stand out. So the tag underneath, my thoughts are that I would stick it on and trim it down so that it had a little bit of a red border. So I'm not sticking the whole lot on. I've not gone completely bonkers because that would just be too big. So that's why I'm sort of lining it up with those sort of funny diamond shapes, and then I'm just going to sort of trim it down to just to give it a nice, neat, even border. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. And and I decided that actually hand trimming those tops was a better option. Could see better. That it was in the right place. So just a bit of inking round, and liking that. Now I'm thinking it needs a hole reinforcer. So I'm just using my crocodile there, making a hole in that, and then using a 1/2-inch circle punch so that it matches the background really, and can stick that down. And then I need to create another hole, and you'll see in a minute it won't quite dry, so I managed to pull it off, so I have to stick it back down again. And then, of course, if I've made a hole, I need a bit of a tie in it. So I've gone for some twine, some red and white twine, but of course it needs grunging up a bit, too white. So a little bit more there of the ink. And I do try and do it so it's doubled. So there was like before strands sticking up. I thought that might look nice. And then I looked at it and went, nah. So gone for a single strand in the end. And I really, really like the way that looks, but it does need a saying, and I'm trying to decide between Joy to the World, Peace on Earth, and Heart the Herald, and I've gone for Peace on Earth. And that is how I want them set out. But I felt that I needed to add some stamping, so I'm using this holly bunch from a retired Stampin' Up set, and I really, really like those holly sprigs. So putting them around and then adding some script as well. And I'm going to add some. So I'm just going to do this one with you. I did do it in real time, but so I'm just speeding it up because it was quite long, and I thought if I talk you through it, it'd be all right. So inking around all of those elements there, and ready to glue down. And then I think that needs a little bit of inking. It was still a little bit wet rather, so I just blasted it with a heat gun. And so now I'm going around with a bit more ink there, blending out those white bits. And then I have this idea that actually it'd be quite nice if the berries in the holly were red. So I pull in some of my Stampin' Blends, that's real red in dark and light, and I decide to colour the berries. I go for one that's likely to be covered up first, just to see whether or not I like it, and I do. So I decide to do them all, and I just think it gives it a nice little pop of colour. So we've got like the red numbers on the ticket and the red of the poinsettia. And I think it works really well. I decided I didn't do it to all the others, partly because I was like, oh, this video is really long, but also it's time, isn't it? And I thought, no, I quite like it not. But I felt it was a bit like, you know, when sometimes you see those black and white photos and they have just something red in it. So you might have somebody with a red coat on or holding a red balloon or something like that. I thought it was a little bit, that was the thoughts I was going with when I was thinking about this. And so I'm just gluing it all down, and that will be the first tag done. So I'm now gonna do all the others, but I'll do all those in time lapse. You don't need a voiceover for the rest of them, I don't think. And that's them done. So I felt that needed something on the top, so I had a little explore and found that. Really liking that. That's that one. That's that one. So I used my little tiny star punch. They're very old, retired. Punch that. And then just took it out of some of the tartan material. No, it's paper jazz. And I changed to Oh Christmas Tree, which I thought was cool. And there's, oh, you saw that one. And then that one, and I just added a bit of ribbon there, and some stamping in the background. So there they all are. I'm not sure how long I've been. I'm not sure if I've got time to sort of turn these into tags or not. So I need to check that first. Okay, so I've got a little bit of time because I went through the video and did a 4 times speed up on a section and did a voiceover. So that gave me time to do something with these. So I'm really just going to turn them into a journaling card, I think, as opposed to a tag, because a tag would need the tops cut, really. So this one's already on some vintage music paper, so this one can be glued to some 120 GSM paper, and I think that would make that thick enough. This is really thin paper, so these need mounting on card. So I've got some card out. I think I can get 3 across nicely. Can't get 4, so I've got a little spare bit there to put the 4th one on. And I think they would look lovely in December Daily or any Christmas journal that you may be doing. So I'm thinking, do I want to keep that top bit? No, actually I don't. But I will keep that in my scraps. That would be a nice bit for a cluster. I haven't got that bit on the top of any of the others. So yeah. So I'm gonna glue stick. Because it's really thin paper, I want to put some glue stick on it so that there is glue on absolutely every bit of it. I will use ordinary glue as well, you know, my usual, but I just feel that it needs this. It will possibly mean that it will curl slightly. I find with the glue sticks, I'm assuming it's water-based, that there will be, these have been under books overnight, so that's all I'll do. And I find that flattens things out, so if you do get some curling, and if you're using PVA, and lots of people use PVA, you do get a bit of curling because it's water-based. But just put them under some books overnight. I usually put them under like my craft mat, and then pile the books on top. And that works. And I've got oodles of books. So, that down with me. Spread that out nicely. Got a bit of ooze in. Where's me? Oh, spreading down there. There we go. I have been crafting so much. I'm making a journal, which I haven't finished yet, and I'm making multiples of it. It got so thick, I thought I can turn each journal into 2, and I was making 2, so I'm ending up with 4. I mean, it's not 4 times the work because I've already done the work, just splitting it in half. So that'll be cool. So we need to just chop that off. So I'm going to bring my big chopper. All those bits. I might stitch round. I do like the look of stitching, and I've got a few things that I want to stitch round, so I might do a load of stitching all together. So now that needs some inking. I've had a sleep, so I can't find nothing on my desk. There we go. Oh, this is walnut stain. Oh well. And that's the vintage photo dauber. Oh well. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Doesn't matter. Here's what it is. That's that. I'm going to put a bit of stamping on the back. We'll do the same. We'll do the same as we did before with this. So now I need to find my ink pad. I can't find the juicy one, so we'll use the non-juicy one. And liking that. Might have just a little bit. Though it was yesterday, I wonder if there's any ink still on there. Yeah, there is a little bit. There we go. That is the tag done. So I'm going to do that with all of the others, and then I'm going to stitch round. So I'll show you those when they're done. And there they are, all finished and stitched round. And I decided to have a go. I've seen other people do it. Where they do a bit of straight stitching, a bit of zigzag, bit straight, bit zigzag. It does take a little bit longer, but I love the way that that looks. So yeah, I think it was worth spending a little bit of extra time doing that. I think it sets them off really nicely. So I'm loving how they turned out. This was the first attempt. I did go a little bit squiff there, but I don't think it matters. Not about to unpick it. And then this was, I forgot about this one. So this was the tag that had the bit of the second sheet. So the pull on major crafter-lunch there. So that was had really sort of subtle poinsettias on it. There, can you see? They don't really show up at all. So that was a bit of a fail. You can sort of see them. I then stuck it down on to some vintage music sheet to hope that the music would show through. Don't really. But anyway, so I just decorated that with some more elements from that Tracy Fox December Daily kit. Love how it turned out. So that is my Christmas altered guest checks, and they would be fab in a December Daily, any Christmas journal. Could even put them as a tag on a Christmas present. They are wonderful. I am so happy with how they turned out. Had no plan when I started, just went with it. So, and I really love the grungy backgrounds that I created with the inks and the gesso, and then the addition of the paper napkins, and then Tracy Fox's Christmas digital things are just the finishing touch. And I love these. They're like Dymo labels, aren't they? I just love them. So yeah, hope you like that. I'll put some close-ups over on nigezza.co.uk so you can see them a bit better, and I'll link to any stamp set that I use that you can buy. I think I used all retired stuff, to be fair. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again very, very soon with something else. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share.